So much has changed in Marvel Snap over the last week. We've had a major shift in the meta. The recent OTA patch brought Mobius and Mobius back, nerfed Shang-Chi. Has it impacted the meta? You better damn believe it has. And we were going to be talking about the top 10 best decks in Marvel Snap. From a statistical standpoint today, I've used a variety of different sources to ensure that you're getting the most accurate decks as possible. Let's get started with deck number 1, which is Loki by Night. It might be surprising to some, but currently Loki is running the highest win rate in Marvel Snap at 62%. This is an absolutely remarkable win rate, but what is notable about this deck is it's still running the nerfed Shang-Chi, but it's the Werewolf by Night that continues to do a lot of damage in these decks, especially when you consider that you're able to pop off with a Falcon, generate space for the Werewolf by Night, and then replay a lot of these one-drops, just allow it to bounce a lot more, and then you also are building your hand with Maria Hill, Snowguard, and others for Loki, which can be played on turn 4 or even 5 and have a miracle-based turn 6, especially if Quinjet's already on the board. The deck works wonderfully and currently has the highest win rate in the game. Mobius and Mobius is technically back, but it's a fraction of the play rate it used to be. As a 3/3 with the same ongoing effect it used to have, it's just not seeing the same levels of play. Loki by Night, number 1 in Marvel Snap currently. When we go to number 2, believe it or not, it's another werewolf deck. We have Bounce by Night. It's a similar kind of idea as the prior deck, but it does not have Loki. Instead, you have the bounce-based archetype, including Beast here, to generate as much value as you can. You also are running the disruption-based package with Korg and Darkhawk. But what's interesting is that with Korg, Darkhawk, and Black Widow, and the Beast bounce, and of course even the Falcon for the Korg, you're able to actually pump their deck pretty hard, and that gives you an opportunity to make some value for the Darkhawk without the need of something like a Rock Slide. A really interesting deck running a 61% win rate, which ain't too shabby. Bounce by Night making some waves in Marvel Snap, and that's 2 decks at the top of the meta with Werewolf by Night. Miss Marvel coming in at a 60% win rate deck, and it's honestly been remarkable. You have the Devil Dinosaur Splash here with the Snowguard and others that generate some value, including Agent Coulson. You love to see it. You have the disruption of Darkhawk, Black Widow, and Korg. You have the reach of Miss Marvel, and as you can see, you have enough of variance between the different costs to effectively make Miss Marvel playable. This is currently the top win rate deck for Miss Marvel, although there are others in the vicinity as well. Overall, a very strong deck with a lot of different win conditions, very meticulously well designed. We have number 4, which is Destroy. Would you be surprised to know that Destroy is still top of the meta? Number 4 at 60% win rate, the Nico continues to be one of the absolute best versions of Destroy. You're having Deadpool in there, you got the Null, you got the Zol, you got the Death, because I mean Mobius is no longer that relevant, so Death is able to make a comeback, and that's overall raising the win rate of Destroy. Overall, an absolutely excellent archetype, one that's been very consistent over the last 6 months, and one that I'm sure you can turn to get to Infinite if you're looking to get there. Discard. Now, this is pretty interesting. Discard has been the long-forgotten child of Marvel Snap. It has been one of those archetypes that has been perennially slept on. People just don't really see Discard as a threat, but you've seen buffs to Blade, you've seen buffs to Hellcow, you've seen buffs pretty much across the board. Even Lady Sif got buffed recently, if you don't remember that. But anyways, Lady Sif and the others overall make this deck a standout at a 60% win rate. It's 5th overall. It's 5th overall. Would you believe a Discard deck is 5th overall in the current meta right now? Despite all the nerfs and changes and the kind of the shifting meta, Discard remains one of the absolute best in the game right now. Don't sleep on Discard, especially if you like the playstyle, because honestly, it's the best it's ever been. Coming in at number 6 is Guardian's Control. This has been an archetype that has seen a lot of experimentation over the last month, and honestly, it continues to be a very good deck. Now, we are getting reports that Daredevil is experiencing some bugs for some people. In my experience, it's actually working for me. I tested this deck exactly prior to making this video to make sure that Daredevil wasn't bugged for me, and it wasn't. It was working consistently, but I do see reports on Discord and elsewhere that Daredevil is broken for some still. So please, keep that in mind that Daredevil might be hit and miss. But regardless, if you're able to get this deck to work, literally, it's actually fantastic. You have the lockdown effect of Storm, you have the lockdown effect of Professor X, and of course you have everyone's favorite card in Alliath to ensure you close out the dub. A very strong deck at a 59% win rate, and if you want to play some Guardians, this is the one that does it for you. Now, moving on to the next deck, number 7. It's funny to see it this low. I mean, it's not really that low. It's like 2% off the top, really. But it's Shuri Sauron, and it looks like the very delicate nerfs to Shuri and to Sauron, just like basically 2 power overall, has dropped it ever so slightly, which is kind of funny. Overall, though, it's still a very, very good deck. What's interesting here is it's still susceptible to Shang-Chi pretty much across the board. Any Shuri card's pretty much going to get Shang-Chi'd, so the Shang-Chi change doesn't really impact this deck. It's pretty consistent. But at the end of the day, like, it's just a deck that performs. People aren't readily prepared for it all the time, and it just puts up points, and it's so damn consistent. Number 7 in the meta right now, Shuri Sauron, and there's no surprises there. Going to number 8, we have another Miss Marvel deck. Miss Marvel has continued to impress. Running a 59% win rate, we have Miss Disruption. This is a disruption-based Darkhawk shell that focuses in on using Miss Marvel while also disrupting their deck, while using Onslaught to close out a potential Miss Marvel Mega Punch. You also have Super Scroll, which is great for the mirror match and helps you to secure victories against other Miss Marvel decks, which are kind of increasing in meta relevance. Overall, a very strong deck, has the best of both worlds of the exquisite amount of power generated wide by Mr. Fantastic and Miss Marvel and Onslaught, while also giving you the opportunity to disrupt, give you a Darkhawk play, and of course you have the Super Scroll for the tech. 59% win rate, it's pretty damn solid. Coming in at number 9, we have Evo. This is actually pretty cool here because what you have is the high evolutionary base shell with the She-Hulk, Hulk, and the Infinite. What this does is it gives you kind of the best of both worlds of both High Evo and the She-Not based decks. You are running the disruption of the Cyclops, the Cosmo, and the others, and generating value with cards like Magic, which allow you to confidently to skip turn 6, and then basically play your She-Not and your Infinite at once. But if you don't get the Magic, you still have your Hulk, which is pretty damn good. What's interesting about this deck, it also runs Shocker, so that if you hit something like an Infinite or a Hulk and you skip a turn 5, it allows you to play the She-Hulk at the same time, which is pretty damn good. So you have the Shocker condition, you have the Magic condition as well, and of course you're generally going to protect your Magic to location with Cosmo from Storm, but bear in mind that Legion is actually making a bit of a comeback in terms of meta relevance, so this deck does potentially get wrecked by Legion. So if they snap on you on turn 5 or 6, be aware that Limbo might get wiped out by Legion. Moving on to number 10, we have just straight up Darkhawk. Just straight up Darkhawk. Now, this is one of those packages that is performing really well in Marvel Snap right now. Darkhawk's been consistently one of the best performers in the game, and we have some fancy versions of Darkhawk throughout this top 10, but this is just the straight up, hey, you want to play Darkhawk? This is it right here. You got the Zabu, you got all the disruption you're used to. You're running Shadow King here, Shang-Chi, Man-Thing, and of course, Doctor Doom as a closer if you need that additional reach. Overall, an absolutely fantastic deck at a 58% win rate, and one that I'm sure if you have Darkhawk already, you're very accustomed to piloting. If you're not subscribed yet, I really appreciate if you'd consider subscribing. It means the world to me, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next Marvel Snap video.